Are you a big football fan?
Or can you not live without football?
Or do you just like checking in with the local scores?
Here we are. Welcome to EPL on the sofa.
I used to be the kid that no one cared about. That's why you have to keep screaming till they hear you out.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of EPL on the sofa.
A YouTube-based show about the almighty Premier League, the most watched league in the world.
So, on today's show, we'll be talking about the VAR, the most inconsistent thing in football going at the moment.
The conversation starter for every fan after the game on all social media platforms. But before we get into it, Knowles has got a quick message for us.
You there? Make sure you add all our social medias down below. Links in the description.
So, we're going to get into it. So, what we're going to start off with. So, we're going to get reviews on from Knowlesy and Yatesy on today's match week opinions. So, today, it was a very hard match week for some of the teams. From Newcastle grabbing a point dramatically down at St James's Park against Man City, to Liverpool just about pulling it back against Brighton. So, let's get into it. So, boys, we're going to start off with Newcastle versus Man City 2-2. What's your opinions on that, Yatesy?
Really good point for Newcastle, considering they've struggled quite recently. I think it's a really good point for them. It's an even worse result for Man City because they're trying to win the league and they're getting nowhere near Liverpool at the minute. Liverpool's running away with it. Good point for Newcastle, bad point for Man City.
Yeah. Knowlesy, what's your opinions on today's game?
Well, this game might have been like the league decider because now I don't think City will win the league this
11
season.
points clear at the top for Liverpool
Exactly.
now.
Very good goal by Jonjo Shelby in the game. I think it was a very good point for Newcastle.
Goal of the season contender for De Bruyne as well.
Yeah, that was a really good goal. But it turns out that Newcastle probably only performs well against top 6 clubs. So
both you got both your reviews on that one.
Big shout.
Obviously, our beloved, I can't say beloved club, but it obviously won't matter in this channel. Obviously, we will be fair on all the other teams apart from Brighton. Yep. So next, we're going on to Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 2. Yatesy, what's your opinions on this one?
Solid 3 points, I think. Very good performance as well. We managed to shut out a good Burnley attack, break through a good Burnley defence. It's a very good 3 points. Wilf 2-2. You're looking good.
Obviously,
got confidence.
Obviously, Palace went into this thinking Burnley do have a good defence. Obviously, they do, but will Palace go break through it? So we went into the game. Knowlesy, what's your opinions on today's game? Burnley Palace.
In my opinion, I think Palace done their homework on Burnley, seeing that they are a very good team and defensively slide. But it was a very good 2-0 win, another clean sheet. Get the goal difference back into positive. And we move on to Bournemouth on Tuesday.
Very, very big 3 points for Palace there away. Was it only 2 away wins this season for Palace? Man United? Burnley?
United and Burnley.
Yeah. And then moving on, Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. A big result this one. Obviously Chelsea, very strong side. Frank Lampard just took over beginning of the season. What's your opinions on this one?
This one kind of shocked me actually. I didn't think West Ham were going to get anything from this game. I think it's partly down to Tammy Abraham not being there. I think he's been such a focal point for Chelsea up front. But I'm not going to take anything away from West Ham. That is a fantastic 3 points and a good goal from what I heard from Aaron Cresswell.
For else?
It was a very good win for West Ham, what position they're in. I think that's probably kept Pellegrini in the management for West Ham. I think apparently, what I saw, it was a very, very nice finished goal for Aaron Cresswell. I think they really dominated Chelsea. They really did miss Tammy Abraham though. I think that before this game, Chelsea thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but West Ham.
Tammy Abraham looks like he's scoring goals for Chelsea as well.
Yes, yeah.
So moving on. Obviously, it was another game, another 3 points for Liverpool in this 2-1 lead at against Brighton actually at home at Anfield. Opinions?
It's 31 in a row now, isn't it? 31 without loss for Liverpool now. Yeah, again, another 3 points Liverpool. They did look a bit shaky, from what I heard, conceding that goal in the second half. But I think solid 3 points. Another 3 points, that's all they care about. They won't care about the performance, they'll care about the results.
Yeah.
The performances aren't going to win the league, the results are going to win the league. So, yeah.
So now they're moving further away from Man City. I do think Liverpool will win the league this season. They're a very strong side. But when Alisson got sent off, it went down from there. Two good goals from Van Dijk, both corners. But all I can say is that Liverpool is just probably the best team in Europe right now.
Well, obviously, we're going to get onto the VAR conspiracy in some of their games this season. But we are going to get onto that next part of the show. Moving on, Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 2. Obviously, no surprise now, Mourinho has took over. Bournemouth almost putting it back at the Tottenham Stadium. What is your thoughts on this one?
Again, I think Mourinho has completely transformed Tottenham so far. I say so far very heavily. But I think, he's changed them into a good team. Obviously, their defence still needs work, conceding 2 against Bournemouth. But yeah, I think Mourinho's done his job so far. Hopefully it can continue for Tottenham.
Fred?
I think that was a very good 3 points for Tottenham after the start they had. They're moving more further to top 6, top 4. I think that as Chelsea dropped points, that has closed the gap. So that is very big news for Tottenham. Again, Mourinho has changed some of their players, like Dele Alli. He was shocking with Pochettino, but now he's turned into probably could be one of the best players in the Premier League if he carries on this form. But we, as Owen said, we need to see how they perform, like against big clubs, because right now they're against small clubs, but we'll see.
And obviously, Dele Alli's gone back to his prime for a few seasons ago now. Obviously, under Poch as well, there was a spell where he didn't do well, and obviously, Mourinho's come in, and he's changed himself. He's changed Dele Alli again, and obviously he's back into scoring goal form. So, and obviously, last game that has literally just finished tonight. Southampton 2, Watford 1. We've obviously just watched this game. What are your thoughts on this game, obviously?
Massive 3 points for Southampton. Massive. It's going to help them gain confidence for getting out of the bottom 3. Watford, I mean, we've seen that they've been awful this season. Have they got 1 win?
Yeah.
Norwich away. Yeah, it's not been great for them. But give all credit to Southampton. James Ward-Prowse, great free kick at the end of the game. Danny Ings in goal scoring form. I think they're looking good to stay up at the minute.
With that Southampton win, I think the Southampton manager will stay at the job for now. I think if Southampton lost that game, the manager would went and left. But no, as Owen said, it was a really big win for Southampton, and now they're just looking forward to try and get out of the relegation zone. And in my opinion, I think Danny Ings is a very, very underrated player. He's scored in, 3 or 4 games in a row now?
I think so.
Brilliant player.
And obviously, James Ward-Prowse's free kick. Ben Foster could have done a bit better.
Yeah, he could have done a little bit better.
But obviously, it was a great free kick. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse is one of the best free kick takers in the league at the moment. So his form of free kicks are great. So yeah, that's that. And now, before we actually get onto VAR, here's a little message from Weller. Thank you for them reviews over there. Obviously, we are making a FPL league. So if you've got a league you think you can dominate, just come join us in the OTS league. It will be right here, just below my fingers. And there, to join it, we'll let you in and come have some fun.
So in this part of the video, we're going to be getting each other's views on VAR, how consistent it is, how it's worked so far, and if we should continue using it.
I will be asking Freddie Knowles on his opinion on the virtual assistant referee VAR. So, Freddie, what are your opinions firstly on VAR?
I'm not a big fan of it, if I'm honest. I don't think they're using it well. I really don't. I see some Serie A games, I see some La Liga games, and they're using it superbly. they allow the refs to actually go to the pitch side monitor and to just check the actual footage themselves. I think it's a bit unfair of the guy telling the ref in his ear to just say if it's a penalty or not. I think the ref actually needs to see it himself before he can make his own decision.
Do you think, the big question is, do you want it to stay in the Premier League next season?
I think it's 50-50 at the moment, because if they do make changes to it, like the foreign leagues, then of course I want to have it, because they'll make it fair. But if they don't, then nah, don't want nowhere near English football.
Well, obviously most of the people I spoke to, obviously you, Owen, and obviously myself and other people I spoke to around the area, they've said that the pitch side monitor, that's the big problem at the moment, because there's no point in having it on pitch side if they're not going to use it. So what are your views on that?
Yeah, exactly. I think they need to check it. Like as I said, like before, it's unfair on the ref to just let another guy make his own decisions. Like the ref just needs to see it himself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because then it'll be unfair on the other clubs, that if it's actually a penalty or not. But we'll see if they make some changes.
So Alfie, what are your views on VAR?
Well, obviously it's coming to the Premier League this season. Got introduced in the World Cup 2018. It weren't much of a bad problem, because then that's when the referees were going over to the monitor to actually check about the incident. But this season in the Premier League, it's ruining football, mainly because the referees are actually listening to someone through their ear. So obviously they not actually watching what happened. They obviously knew what happened because they're on the pitch, but there's actually just someone in their ear telling them what to say to the players. But it would be better. What's the point of having a pitch side monitor if you're just not going to go over to it? It'll be better, because then the referee can make his own mind up, and then the guy in his ear can actually still be there, make his mind up, but then they just come to a conclusion and then actually make the decision.
So, in your opinion, do you think we should continue using it in the Prem?
Well, obviously people aren't really enjoying it in the Premier League, obviously. As I was saying, the World Cup, everyone just didn't... We didn't even know it was in the World Cup, to be honest, because it's incidents that got sorted straight away. But Premier League is obviously going to be so many incidents. But in my opinion, I think we should just keep going with it for the rest of the season and get rid of it at the end.
Now I'll own what his thoughts are on VAR. So, what are your thoughts on VAR?
I don't mind it, to be fair. I think it's doing good for the game in terms of reviewing decisions that need to be reviewed, because obviously the ref they're always checking it, always. But I do think they should use the pitch side monitor a lot more. Well, they should just use it more, because they haven't used it yet. I've heard that they encourage them not to go to the monitor, but I think that should be abolished. I think the referee should get their look at it as well, as much as the people in the VAR box are. But no, I think it's doing good. I think all the decisions are being checked correctly. There's been a couple that have made people question it, but I think that it's doing good, and it will do good in the future for the Premier League.
Do you think that in the Premier League, do you think that we should keep it?
I think trial it to the end of the season, and then do a vote between all the Premier League leaders at the end of the season on whether it should be done or not. I know they've already started talking about maybe stopping it this year or making changes to it, but I think give it to the end of the season, do a majority vote on it, see whether they want to keep it or not. But I would personally keep it for the future of the Premier League.
So obviously, last part for tonight's show is we will be talking to you one by one. We have chosen one VAR incident that we have obviously not agreed with, or we want to discuss with you guys about what we want to say to you, to be honest. So what I have chosen Lovren push against Crystal Palace. So obviously Palace last weekend did lose, have a 2-1 loss to Liverpool at Selhurst Park. Tomkins, obviously, Palace have won a free kick. We've took it. Tomkins is obviously nothing he's been interfered with. He's headed it in the goal. Okay, that's fine. But then we did go to VAR, as Lovren was claiming as a push. Yeah, okay, you did push Lovren, but if you actually look at it, it comes off Wijnaldum, and Lovren would have had to have been like 10 foot tall to actually get the ball. So it wouldn't interfere in the play. It was a push in the back with two hands, but that could have been dealt with something else. That shouldn't have been interfered with the goal. As I was saying, he would have needed a ladder to get up to that ball. So there's nothing interfering with it. It shouldn't have not been a disallowed. It should have been obviously 2-2 Palace, Liverpool. That is the way VAR goes. If you disagree with any of us on tonight's video, just obviously put down in the comments or tweet us or Facebook us, Instagram us, whatever you want to do. All in the description as we said earlier. And yeah, on to Owen.
Alright, so the VAR incident I'll be looking at is Yuri Tielemans' red card versus Bournemouth that wasn't given. He did a studs-up challenge to about here on Callum Wilson. And VAR checked it over and over. He didn't get sent off. This is why VAR is so inconsistent. I think you've got to get every single decision spot on. It's there for a reason, to check decisions, to make sure decisions get overturned if needed. And I just think it was such a clear red card. Anyone could have seen that in the stadium. The referee, the linesman, the fans at the top of the stand. I think you've got to keep it consistent with VAR. If you give a red card for a challenge similar 1 week and then don't give it the next week, what's the point in even having VAR in place? So yeah, I think it's got to be more consistent with red cards, goals, penalties and fake identities, although we haven't seen any of them yet.
So the incident I'm going with was the I'll just cut it out. So the incident I've chosen was Jordan Ayew versus West Ham United, which Palace won 2-1 in the end. How the incident went across was that Martin Kelly headed it on, and it was a very nice finish with Jordan Ayew, but the linesman flagged it offside. After it was flagged offside, some players went to the ref and just said, "Can we have VAR in this?" Obviously, some players get booked for asking that, but none of our boys did. And then what happened was that the referee had the finger in his ear to VAR, and then they had all the dots to make it all clear, zoomed in and out, and it turns out that Ayew's knee was actually the bit onside, and that you can score with your knee. So it counted, and it did win us the game. So it was a very good decision by VAR to have a look at it.
We will wrap up our first special show here. We want to thank everyone on here for tuning in, and don't forget to check out our FPL, which is obviously back in the video. Go and check it out. Check out all our social medias in the description.
It would be much appreciated if you could all share the video around.
It could be your nan.
Could be your brother, your sister, or your cousins.
We will see you guys in our next show.
Laters.